Hi everyone. So I just was going to go live in the group there. I know it's Saturday afternoon and maybe doing other things, um, but it's not that easy to share the screen, so I thought I would just record this. It was really just something that came up in lessons. Now you've probably seen my post today about the blues. I'm going to do a video maybe next week on the blues email that went out. If you haven't got it, let me know underneath this video once it uploads, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it. But it's just something that comes up sometimes in lessons with reading chords on guitar tabs. Now I realise there's people in the group that are way beyond this, but there's also beginners as well. For anybody that's just joined the group, you're very welcome, and I'm just really trying to help out here. I know there's some people that are really only starting out. So the story was, you probably know I teach full time. I have a student that I take on Tuesday, and he's about 9 or 10, and he's having real problems reading guitar tabs. So I decided to do up a short, really short presentation just to show him how to, hopefully I'll have him next Tuesday, to show him how to read chords on guitar tab. You can read the notes, but for some reason the chords cause problems, and I've noticed this before. So I'm just going to share the screen here of a presentation here. It's really short, but hopefully it'll help you out. So really, if you can see that, if I could go full screen here, let's see, show. Right, so it's really reading chords on guitar tabs. So single notes, right? So what's happening is this boy's working on a song here from the rock school grades. Whether you were them or not, they're a bunch of grades that I take, and a lot of music teachers take them, where you've got songs and scales and chords and ear tests and all these kind of tests to really bring your playing on forward. Now this is from the debut grade, so you can see here we've kind of got fairly easy chords, but what seems to be causing the confusion, and does sometimes, is the fact that the numbers are on top of each other. So normally when you're reading a guitar tab, they're separate. So what I decided to do, the way I kind of, hopefully this will make sense, if you think of how to read a chord box, so your thickest strings here and your thinnest strings here. The black dot's where your finger goes, and that's your third finger on your chord hand. The axis down here, if I could just get rid of this, right, I have to get rid of that widget. So we've got the axis here and the zeros here. So they're the strings you can hit, these are the strings you don't hit. Now, the next step is, if you think about this, it's a standard way to read a chord box. If you flip the box on its side, right, so this here, string 1 fret 3, which is here, string 1 fret 3, and these zeros here are the open strings. Now you might notice this on a tab, the axes aren't marked on here, so if the line or the string is empty, you don't hit it. So in this case we would hit string 4, 3, 2, 1 and strum, well, downwards. Now in case you're unsure about reading guitar tab, imagine that thick black line is here, that's string 6, and string 1's up here. So we would strum downwards. Now I know what you're thinking, the arrow is pointing upwards, but remember the thick strings here and the thin strings here. So the ground is down here and you're up here, right? So you're going like that. And I know it causes confusion all the time, the fact that the tab is upside down. If you've got a copy of the beginner's cheat sheet, it should explain this, but if you need to ask any questions, just ask them underneath and I'll try and explain it a bit more clearly, but it does cause some confusion. So in this case, just to show you, imagine the guitar sitting like that. There's string 1 fret 3, and then we would strum. So I'm going to just strum this for you just to see. So that chord would be string 1 fret 3 and strum 4 strings. So we're going downwards. So basically just take the arrow that's pointing upwards, reverse it, and you're strumming down. So on the next page then, there's just telling you there to strum down. So on the next page, it's a D chord. And what we're doing here is exactly the same thing. Now, the numbers have changed because our fingers have changed on the frets. So a D is string 3, fret 2, string 1, fret 2, and string 2, fret 3. and again we're strumming down 4 strings. So if you think of it like that, where you're getting a chord box, if you've already covered a chord box, if you haven't, that's in beginner's cheat sheet as well. So you've got the chord box, flip it on its side, and then if there's any empty lines, don't hit those ones. In this case, hit the 4 thin strings. And the next page is going to cover A minor. Right, now it does look a bit more confusing when you think, well, they're stacked up straight, but these aren't. But this here is on fret 1, this is on fret 2, and this is on fret 2. So in this case, that was actually meant to be pointing up that way. I didn't realize they were both on their side, but that probably helps anyway. So you got first finger, second finger, third finger, and again. Now normally on an A minor chord, you notice that we'd normally hit 5 strings, but this is from a beginner's book, or sorry, well, beginner's book and beginner's grade, where they're not doing completely full chords because it's the very first debut grade which he's working on. So it's just 4 strings. Normally you would go for 5, and in this case we're strumming A minor for 2 beats, so it's going to be 1, 2. Okay, so I hope I haven't rushed through that, and I hope that makes a bit of sense. If you have any questions, you know, pop them under below the video, and I'll try and help you out with that. It's just, it does come up, and I just thought it might help out a few of you if you're having problems trying to read guitar tab. It's important to know how to read chords and then single notes on guitar tab. And I'll see you again soon. As I say, I'm planning on doing a video next week, hopefully on the blues email that went out, and sort of explaining why I did it in E-blues and why I used the open strings and that kind of thing, and those particular riffs. And there's a load wrapped up in it, but that should be pretty good next week. Something for a bit of a change. And I realise in the poll, and by the way, thanks very much for voting on the beginners poll. I haven't noticed the votes going up. Keep those coming in if you've just joined the group. That'd be really good. And I'll be back on again soon. Okay, see you then. Alright, bye.